as a standard organization mandated to serve the continent by the African Union and by the African Continental Free Trade Area. We received expression of interest by member states to harmonize these rPET standards, because we have different rPET standards at the level of national member states. So everyone has its own, and we need to address the differences, and we need to also work on the similarities that exist in Africa to come up with one accepted standard, having clear guidance on the requirements.
This Pan-African standard is crucial. One of the reasons is to facilitate having a common standard across the continent. And this will enable also, and I will just give an example, is to bring for all the continents and this material, because I'm not talking about waste, I am talking about resource.
There's a lot of opportunities for the harmonized or single standard for food-grade recycled plastic or rPET in Africa. I think the biggest opportunity that we have is to create a larger recycling value chain, regional recycling value chain on the continent. Like we all know, recycling is a very expensive business, and it's a game of numbers. You know, the bigger the capacity, potentially, the better the pricing, and of course, the more competitive, the companies can be. So if we have a single standard on the continent, that creates a bigger market for African recyclers.
Once all the member states are applying one harmonized standards, which is in line with accepted international parameters and requirements, you can understand that there will be reduction of plastic pollution and also plastic waste. And you can understand that trade among the African member states will be increased, because some were rejecting products that are from other countries because of the packaging, which is not properly done. So with the recycled plastic, we expect to have an increase in trade of food products.
Having the standards is going to be a very strong catalyst for the transitioning to circular economy for plastics in Africa. The reason is very simple. If you are going to have circularity, it means that you should be able to prevent leakage of plastics into the environment at each stage of the life cycle. If you are going to use them, especially for food and beverage packaging, you have to have the standards. Otherwise, nobody is going to use your products, and that industry is going to fail in that segment. So it's very, very important that we have these standards in order to address plastic pollution. Otherwise, we will be dumping plastics in the landfills and in the environment, which nobody wants.
We have the same concern across all the continents, all the countries. The same process have to be done. We have seen some example what have been done in Nigeria, in South Africa. The takeaway is benchmark, work together, take the advantage on the countries that's already advanced, and to learn through the mistake that the others have done.
We have challenges related to the standard development itself because of different countries involved in this work. If it was for one country doing the standardization, it would be very easy. But now here we are involving all the countries that are interested. We already have 18 countries, and you can understand that the differences at the level of countries can affect the content of the standards.
The regulatory bodies also sensitize the public on the contents of the standard. So if that is not there, there's going to be a challenge of compliance by the recyclers and the end users of these rPET bottles. And another challenge may be testing we have to consider the testing. The tests that have been stated in the standard should be something that can be done anywhere in Africa. The testing may be a challenge. We should have laboratories locally that can do all these tests that are stated in the rPET standards.
Because this technology has been around for more than 30 years and has been certified safe across the world, there is a tendency to take it for granted that everyone is comfortable with it. So hearing from the government representative the level of hesitation that the country has is also another eye-opener as to the kind of challenges that we need to address. So what this means is that there is need for more awareness, there is need for more advocacy, there is need for more education and enlightenment to convince not just consumers, but policymakers, and other stakeholders as to the safety of, recycled PET in food grade application across the region.